Hi, Sean.
Hello, Lee. How can I help you?
Um, I had a couple of questions. I'm looking at, I'm in Sam's, I'm in the bid, I'm looking at something. I want to start putting in a bunch of stuff for the RFPs, RFQs. And one of the things in the solicitations, like this is registered as an RFQ. I don't know if I could, um, and the bid tracker, it populates as an RFQ.
Okay.
But when you click on it to go inside of it, it has down at the bottom, it says that it's a solicitation, um, pre-solicitation, and then it has the RFP number associated with it. So my question is this considered an RFP? So if I put if this is truly a proposal, then I'm held to it.
Okay. So, what's the solicitation number?
The RFP number is 140 P is in Paul 8525. Q is in quote 0061.
That's right. Q is in quote. So that's an RFQ. They look. They just used the wrong, uh, words there.
Okay. All right. So that's what I'm looking at there. All right. That's good. And then as far as there's no attachments and links. So when I log in to
So
Sam's,
on pre-solicitations, they might not have any files yet. See, typically I ignore pre-solicitations because they're not
okay.
necessarily solicitations yet. Now, I do make exceptions. On a pre-solicitation, if it has the files and a due date and it's clear what they're trying to get accomplished and it's not going to take me very long, I go ahead and turn a bid in. If not,
Yeah.
then I
No.
just ignore it and move on until it becomes a solicitation.
Okay. And then there's a lot of there is a lot of stuff that they have dates of today, and so if I would like if I'm in there,
Yeah, if there's some jobs that are due today and they're RFQs and you can just quickly come up with a number and get it filled out, what's your risk for turning in a bid?
yeah, um, and then and then actually filling out their bids, because all you're doing is putting in the number. So it wanted to know line items, and then obviously it wanted to know your overhead, your profit, all of that as a line item, and then your total price.
Yeah, so
So,
what they're trying to do is they're trying to be able to compare your numbers to somebody else's numbers and where the fat is, right? And so typically what I do in that situation is because I don't bid jobs the way that other people bid jobs. And they can't control how you bid jobs, right? They got so when I break things down, like as an example, building a house, I usually break it down into the major billable components. And in the case of a house that you're going to complete in, let's say, 2 months, I might say clearing and grubbing, I might say concrete, I might say framing, I might say, but I might not include rough plumbing, right? And and,
mhm.
and so even though rough plumbing is going to be part of it, it might be included in the concrete number since the rough plumbing is going to be in the concrete. Um, and so I'm not breaking it down in a way that could be easily compared to somebody else's number. And then but I'm also including most of my overhead and profit in my numbers themselves so that my overhead and profit as a line item, if required, only shows, let's just say 10% or something, which is really, if you go out there and you look at the construction industry at a whole, it's somewhere between 6% and 15% anyway, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is. And despite the insurance company, it's standard 10 overhead, 10 profit. So O&P, but um, I just I don't even like putting that in there. I mean, are they going to turn it away if you don't add it? You just put a one line item and a total price and just send it to them.
Uh,
I mean,
unless they're
it's
specifically requiring a breakdown, you might end up with a phone call that says, "Hey, we're requiring a breakdown." And on rare occasions, I've had it where I give them a lump sum price and they call me anyway and ask for a breakdown. Then I have to make a decision. Suppose I do give you a breakdown, what happens then? Okay. And in other words, what I'm trying to do is back then, like, listen, if I'm not the low bid, then there's no reason to go break down my number. Like, am I the apparent low? So, in other words, I'm trying to have a conversation with them to kind of get more information if I can.
yeah, yeah, because yeah, you don't want to work for free, and
Absolutely.
or have them use your number,
To go shop it somewhere else. That's right.
So unless they want, and they're not going to sign a engagement letter that you're owed money, if so. Okay. So, so just yeah, because there was a couple of in here. I like that. So if any RFQ is going to have a Q in the quote somewhere around the fifth.
99.9% of the time, you can 100% rely on that.
All right, and then is there? I did not see. I don't think there is to kind of when you're going through the system and bid tracker, there there is not a way to kind of narrow it down by location or area, or like if
No,
I
because
wanted to
I
do
know I don't
Michigan.
care where the job is or what the scope is. I'm not doing the work. What difference does it make? And so yeah, we've never allowed bid tracker to be sortable by or filterable in that way.
And then I've noticed a lot in bid tracker, a lot of them have zero dollar amounts
That's
for.
because the government hasn't provided a range. We provide it when they have it.
Okay, so all right, well I'll the main thing is if I see something in solicitations for bids, that makes total sense to me. So there's no documents to put anything on, but see something in there. Um, one other question. Yeah, no set asides. I mean, the only thing I think that we would qualify for, because if you're not registered for that classification, they just disregard the bid anyway. Is a hub zone. I'm thinking that's the only thing.
If you're
Small
interested in that,
business.
you just go to hubzone. I'm sorry, SBA.gov/hubzone. There's a little map on there you can punch your stuff in.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm not in it. That's the thing. I'm not in any. I'm not. My office is not in any hub zone, so I'm a small bit. The only thing probably just a small business then.
Yeah.
Um, and so anything SBA is really what we can bid on.
Now, I will tell
Uh,
you this. If you do come across a job that's a hub zone set aside, 4 times in our career, so just think of, 4 out of 1,000, right? It's 0.04%, less than half a percent. We sent bids in on, let's just say, as an example, HubZone or SDV or something like that, and said, listen, we know we don't qualify for this as a set aside, but we just wanted to make sure you guys had an extra bid just in case. And 4 times over 30 years, we did get jobs that were originally set aside that got pulled from the set aside and awarded to us. Now, how many times we turned in bids in that situation like that, I can't tell you.
um, and then if I'm in the member area, and far as what's the best post workshop training video that kind of really goes through.
Yeah, so here's the thing on that. So I want you to imagine for a moment that I give you 30 books that are the complete everything you need to know about being a successful federal contractor, the complete volumes, and then I get hit by a bus tomorrow. Are those books going to be useful to you unless you know what's in them?
No.
Absolutely not. In fact, if you don't know what's in volume 20, then and let's just say the answer to your question is in there and you don't know what's in there, is that ever going to help you?
Yeah,
So here's my suggestion. There's a lot of great videos there. And they're only 3 to 5 minutes a piece. Like in less than 2 hours, you could watch every single one of those videos, maybe even less than an hour. My suggestion is you watch those and then take notes and say, I really liked video number 4. I really liked video number 11. I want to be able to refer back to video number 12. Okay, whatever they're called. That way, you've got a cheat sheet to go back and say, I really liked that video. I'm going to come back to this one when I have this particular situation. Now, that's my suggestion. Then let's just talk about what you could do right now. If you come across an SF18 bid form, you could go look at the video titled SF18. If you come across a 1442 bid form, you can go watch the 2 videos or 3 videos that are 1442s. If you come across a 1449, go do the same thing. If you come across a job that does not include a bid form, I have a video there that says no bid form. Go look at that video. So you could do it as needed, but my suggestion is just go ahead and take the hour and sit down and just watch them and take notes as to which ones you really liked that resonate with you.
Yeah, I was doing that, but going back and forth. But yeah, I just need to sit down, trying to refresh on the 3-day course and definitely retain more the first day.
Well, the more you get exposed to it, the more it's going to make sense. And not only that, but when you watch the workshop for the first time and then you come back 3 months later and watch it again, it's going to mean something completely different to you because now you've got experience looking at stuff.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, and then the other thing that's going to come up is obviously, if I need to get a bid bond.
If that comes up, just get with Scott. He gives those away for free.
Perfect. Well, I'm sure I'll have more questions, and then I might have. I was just trying to get into my SAM, and I'm looking for my password. That might be a next question.
Yeah, but that's not a me question. That's a go in there and reset it, or go find your notes or whatever.
Yeah, I'm going through my emails.
I can't stand SAM.
Oh, yeah, it's. Well, we went through a heck of a time just trying to get our SAM's number with Elda. So it was definitely interesting. But well,
I invested $250,000, so I don't ever have to go to that website.
So well, let me ask you then. Everything is on there. So, like, I already looked at some of the documents on some of it. So, any of those forms, don't you have to go on there to submit?
No, no. You email the forms directly to the contracting officer.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I don't go on SAM.gov. I think SAM.gov is one of the absolute worst websites on the history of, websites. And Bid Tracker was designed from the ground up so that you would never have to go there.
Okay. Well, so you're just emailing right directly to okay. All right.
Yeah.
So the contractor officer, whoever that might be.
Yep.
And it makes sense because I've done one large government contract, and that's what they were. They were a facilitator for a U.S. Immigration and Customs. And that's okay. All right. Well, Sean, I appreciate that. You called. That was quick, so I wasn't expecting all that quick, but I really appreciate it. And so, yeah. Until next time.
Okay, Lee. Take care.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.